looks fine. Oh, Finley just hopped up on my window. Okay.
On top of, like, he, like, lays in it?
Yeah, like on the
That's so cute. On the
shorts
sill.
under. Yeah. It's very cute, but it's also, he can't get back down. So then he starts whining and he's like, can you please lift me down?
I love that. Rosie, like, at our Airbnb, went up these, like, metal stairs and then had, like, a panic attack, like, trying to get downstairs. Like, have your dogs ever, like, let out, like, kind of, like, a hound smell? It's, like, from their butt where they're, like, get anxious.
No.
Your
It's
dogs
so
get
weird.
anxious and they let out a sound, or they let out a smell
It's like
from
a
their butt.
scent.
He
It's
tooted?
like no, it's like worse than a toot. It's like a fishy smell.
Oh, yeah, that's their anal glands, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know,
Okay.
but like
Yeah,
I
Willow
really
does
don't-
that when she's anxious.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's like the smell, and she like let that out, and we were like, "Ew, this is so disgusting." I guess I should have just picked you up, but she was like barking and just like letting out all these like smells and everything. And we're like, "Are you good?"
Oh my god.
Letting
So
out
did
a
she go back
smell is
down
such
by
a funny
herself?
way to put it.
I'm gonna
No,
start saying
I
that
think
when I
that let out a smell. I think she walked down part of the way, and then Joe had to pick her up for the rest of the way.
Oh,
But
that's sad. I feel like I'm starting to really notice like aging signs. Like not like, oh, they're old, but like I'm starting to see like joint things, especially like when Finley gets up from laying down after a while or like walking a lot. I'm like, oh, I feel like your joints are maybe hurting.
Yeah.
I don't
it's hard to know
that.
like what supplement to actually give them to help them too.
I know, because there's so many different ones.
There's so many, and they just take so long to actually work. So it's like you have to be as a dog owner, you have to be consistent with it.
Yeah,
And then
I always just try
two.
to tell myself as long as I'm giving them one, then like it's fine. It doesn't matter what
Yeah.
brand or whatever, as long as I'm like consistently giving it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well,
I
welcome
feel
back
that.
to another episode of So Glad We're Friends. I'm Maggie.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brittany.
We
I
haven't
feel like it's
recorded
been a
in
while.
like 2 weeks. It's
I
been
know.
so long.
It's been a very
I've been
long time.
feeling like disconnected from you guys.
Same.
I have also.
I don't like
Well,
it.
I was on vacation, so like I was actually disconnected for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
you were actually disconnected. Well, and then we miss you because what happened was we recorded an episode where our audio failed, so we did not have an episode last week. So we're all missing each other, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, what's
Even
been
though
going
it just
on?
happened.
How was your trip?
It was good. Did we like do a trip recap last time that just didn't get recorded? Did I talk about the trip?
No, I don't think we've recorded since you went.
Yeah, because we recorded before.
Yeah, we haven't recorded for a while.
That's insane.
I know.
The trip was really good. I really missed like it's like whenever you're with your siblings, there's stuff that only you and your siblings get together, and it's also like there's some things that are just 10 times funnier. Like if you told the same story, your friend might laugh, but you and like your siblings just are crying laughing. And there were so
and you
many
get
of those,
all the
like,
same references.
Yeah. And there were like so many of those moments on the trip of just like just tears because of we're like laughing so hard and like the deep belly laughs, and it was just it was so good. So
So you guys are all getting along and everything.
Well, kind of, yeah.
Typical sibling affair.
Even if
feel
we're
like
not, you can
there's-
still laugh.
Yeah. My middle sister like wasn't gonna come, and then she just made the effort to come, and I was just like really like happy that she did that because they had made a decision. But I was like, hey, just so you know, like there's a whole room for you, like the house is big enough, like we would love for you to come if you can make it, even just for like the weekend or something. And then she ended up coming for like 4 days, so that was really special.
Wow,
Okay.
yay. So did you have
So
like that talk with her to tell her that you were thankful for that and everything?
Yeah, I told her that too. And I was like, even though I don't really want to go to Ohio, I would go to Ohio for like whatever holiday we have to go to. Ohio.
Good. That's
I
some
know.
compromise.
I know.
I think it's so common for siblings once they get older, especially like once your parents die, to become estranged.
Yeah.
And like my aunt is not close to any of her siblings anymore because her parents both died, and they just all do their separate things on holidays and whatever.
Your
and
aunt on
it's
whose
just
side?
my dad. So
Your dad's
she's
sister?
not. No, my uncle's wife. So she's
Oh,
not
okay.
married into. So the only
Gotcha.
family, like my dad's family, we're all very close. We're getting together every absolute second we have the chance. And so she's always with us, but she has not seen like her brother for 9 years, her sister for 3 years. Like it's just crazy. That's so
a very
sad to
long
me.
time. I know
That is so
really
crazy.
And you have to make the effort.
It is kind of crazy though, just like how much grandparents and like parents pull people together, because that's kind of like with my dad's siblings, like they're all over the world, so it's kind of like it was just a central point in Toronto that like everyone would get together when it was like a birthday, an anniversary, like some holiday or something,
like at the grandparents' house.
Yeah, like everyone would fly in, and even if it wasn't every sibling, like it was, you know, everyone tried to make the effort to be there. And so now that we don't have them as like kind of our central point, it is a little bit harder, and we just like haven't seen each other like as frequently. So
yeah,
I hope we can do something with everyone, but it's just like you have to be way more intentional with it.
Yeah, and like it seems like an obligation. Like I'm sure for your parents it was like, oh, we have to go to mom and dad's house for this or whatever. And then once that obligation is gone, you're kind of like, oh yay, I don't have to worry about this anymore. But then you stop seeing your family, and
I don't love it.
That's life, but sad.
And people, I guess it just like happened that like everyone got like to that older, busier phase as my grandparents passed away too. So I feel like that was like people started having babies. Like no one, I think only one of my cousins had like one baby. And now like I think two of my cousins are pregnant, and then two cousins have kids. So it's just like, you know, that just complicates things even more. Time-wise, but
it's so weird to think like that's what my life could have been. Like there's an alternate reality of my life in which me and my siblings do not talk, and like I don't talk to my dad and stuff, and that's so weird to think about.
Yeah.
So really it's just changing things and making an effort. Do you guys follow those 3 girls on TikTok? They're 3 sisters, and they like all individually built their following. Like they all got famous individually, and they were all estranged, did not speak whatsoever, and they like just started talking again. Like it's been like 8-9 years.
No, but
Talk about family genes,
right? Isn't that crazy that they all 3 for different things,
and
then they just all went to Japan together? One of the girls is the one who she posts a lot about period stuff. I feel like she's probably the one that you all would have seen. Like she.
Do you know her name?
No. I'm the worst. We can add in I'll send the name so we can add it in or something.
Yeah.
I think it starts with like an N or something. But
that sounds like
Japan
a very
hold on.
me rabbit hole to go down.
Her name's Nadia, one of the sisters. That's the one that I knew first. Nadia Okamoto. Okamoto? I don't know, but that's so crazy. Like that all 3 of them got popular.
Yeah. That is nuts. The other thing too that I just noticed about just like family is how influential our parents are when it comes to communication and like the way that we communicate. And I'm like, oh, you know, like I'm not like as much like, I mean, I know like I'm very similar to my dad, but there was some moments where I was like, oh my God, I am like literally my dad. Like there was like one thing I wrote down was like I do this and it's so frustrating, but my dad like wasn't explaining what he was doing with the renovation. And like there was like a project that he's like working on. He's like, you know, we're creating the extension. He didn't tell us like, okay, we are going to make this part of the wall. We're going to make this part of the wall. We have to make this. And then we're going to put this over top of it. And these are the dimensions. This is how it's going to work. Instead, he like did part of it and then like didn't tell us the next step. So we're just like watching instead of like helping and cutting wood or like screwing things in. And so I was like, oh, if you just like told us how to do this, like we could have just knocked this out so quickly. But I do that with like Joe, where I'm like, okay, just do something. Like just whatever, just take care of this. And I don't necessarily explain all the steps of it. And then he's like frustrated, or like I'm frustrated because I'm like, why aren't you doing something? And it's like, oh, like literally my dad is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I like am frustrated by it with him, but then like seeing it myself, I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, it is.
That's
so
a good
crazy
learning
to see
experience.
it straight
it
up.
was.
Like, oh.
It was really good. There was another time too where I was like just asking him a bunch of questions, and he's like, can you stop asking questions? I just really need to concentrate right now. And I was like,
oh
this
my
is
God,
literally
you.
me.
That's so crazy.
I was so offended by it too. I was like, okay.
Okay, me. That's how we feel when you tell us that.
I know. But I do it all the time with Joe. I'm like, okay, how can I like make this softer? Because it was so harsh. I was like, what do you mean? I'm just like confused and I want to learn.
Well, that's hard with the telling things to do too, because that goes like to the mental load of like, you don't want to have to make a to-do list for like your partner every day. Like they should also kind of
But I think that it was a really good like eye-opening thing to be like, well, also just like if I want to be more efficient with my life and my time, like it pays to take the 5 minutes to explain something to somebody so they can just do it over and over and over again versus me doing the job kind of and then expecting someone else to do it and then it just taking like 5 times longer. Like that's not as helpful. So I think that was like eye-opening. But yeah.
I love that for you.
I remember like last year when you were doing your renovation, like you just shared like how tired you were like all the time. And I have never felt like a level of exhaustion like this.
Mm-hmm. Like with work too. It's
with like work
and then balance.
And it's like all manual labor, so I'm just like exhausted. Like my body is tired too.
Hey, you could just hurt your finger so you don't have to do as much.
Do you feel good at the end of the day doing that manual labor?
Yes, I really like it. It's
like you sleep well.
Dax Shepard kind of talks about this a lot, where like, holy shit, wow, was that from a nail?
Yeah, it like scraped up my arm, and then it's like really deep right there. I know.
Okay, but anyways, humans were like, we evolved to have like a manual labor job. And then in the recent years, obviously jobs have moved to computers and we're sitting down all day. And, you know, it's not healthy for us because that's not what we were made to do. We were made to be like out scavenging, hunting and scavenging or whatever. So like, has it been helping your mental health to actually be doing physical labor for work?
Maybe. I don't know. The last 2 weeks I've been a total bitch. So, I mean, I don't know if it's like this part of my cycle. I do feel really fulfilled by it because I think it's so different.
Yeah.
Like seeing the product of your work every day. Like obviously I can like see money coming in and I like can see progress for certain things I do. But I think seeing like the actual results of like, oh, I built this wall today, or like knocked down this part of the wall, like that feels really good to see. I think that's like
also with like
exciting
with social media. It's like, okay, I got the money, now the next thing. Like nothing is ever enough. Like nothing is complete.
That's true.
You have to keep going.
Yeah.
So there's never like a completion. Like we're done. We did it. We finished it.
Right. That's actually such a good point because when you're done with it, you get to just sit there and enjoy it, like the house project.
Yeah.
And you can see like an end in sight. Like you have the steps laid out to know like we have to do this and this, and then it's done.
I wonder if people with those types of jobs, like the sort of project like start and end things, are more fulfilled with their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, no, because it's still, I mean, I'm just thinking of like my dad being an electrician. Like it's still the same thing of like, oh, then he needs to bid on the next jobs while he's still working on that last job, and it can take like months and months and months, so it's still kind of never ending also.
Yeah, that's stressful.
So it's really just looking at everything as individual projects, even for us, like, okay, this one brand deal is the individual project and now it's done.
Even like Kylie Kadich, she Like, it's like she's remodeled every room in her house, but now she's getting to the point where like, oh, now she hates her bedroom and she has to redo it, you know? Like, she's just redoing
she just
rooms
redid
now.
her office.
I know.
That's
I remember
like
when she was
insane.
like, this is the best office. I love it so much. And then she gets on, I guess it's probably been 2 years, where she's like,
has it been 2 years,
this office. Probably.
I think so.
Wasn't that
and
her first project?
So different.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah, but she didn't actually fully like do it. It was more kind of like decorating.
She also redid her bathroom when she started and has since redone it again.
Did she really? I don't remember her redoing her master bath.
I don't know.
I don't know which bathroom.
I don't know. Yeah, but it makes sense though, because you keep getting better.
Yeah,
you get more skilled,
so
and then
you just always want to switch things up.
Yeah.
I always want to change it. What's new with you, Dev? What have you been up to?
I cut my finger last night.
Oh my god!
Chopping an onion. It would
not
stop bleeding.
Did you?
And
did like skin come off? Like you like saw it?
No, I just like it went. Like I was trying to cut an onion, like dicing like it, and you know how like it's like tough for a minute, and then it like slides. So it slid, and my freaking finger was right there, and it just. And I was so annoyed because I was shooting a brand content, and I was like, I just need to shoot this, but I don't want people to know that I fucking cut my finger open in the video. So I need to it needed to stop bleeding so I can hide it.
You have a Band-Aid on.
Yeah,
that's a lot. Did you figure it out?
Yeah, it's fine.
That's really funny. That would have been a really good piece of branded content had you like put it in the concept.
If it was like
finger in the middle of it.
Video starts with cutting my finger.
I need a brand deal with Band-Aid or something.
Or what?
Good idea.
Liquid.
Band-Aid. Okay. What else did you do?
I joined a pickleball league.
That's exciting.
Which is crazy.
Like
it's really crazy.
Like maybe one of the scariest, craziest things that you could possibly do for yourself.
I know, right? Yeah. So I saw this league being advertised on TikTok or something. They do leagues in a lot of big cities. And so they do one in Phoenix. And I inquired a while ago. And then just on, I think, Thursday night, I got an email saying that they still had spots open. If I want to join, Venmo them by Friday night, or by Friday, he just said. And I was like, I should do it. I really should do it. I need to get out of my comfort zone. And I like playing pickleball. It's easy, fun, whatever. Like, push myself, do it. And I waited until Friday at 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, I'm going to lose my opportunity if I don't reply to this email and say yes.
Yeah. That's insane.
So I did. And I freaking went. And it was fun.
How was it?
It was really fun. So you play for an hour.
Okay.
And
wait, so is there multiple, everyone's in the league and then you pair up randomly, or how does that work?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't know if it's really a great concept, because there's so many people in the league and they sort you by your skill level. Mm-hmm. And so yesterday I was with 3 other girls who we were really well matched up or whatever. And you play with one person, or you play with each person once. So we played 3 games. Mm-hmm. So we got to mix with each other, and then you record your score, and based on your score, I think you move up in the league, or move up or down or something. I don't really know. But the problem is I really liked the girls. They were really nice. It was fun. But next week I'm going to be playing with 3 other people, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm ever going to be playing with these girls again. So it's I'm not building a sense of team or a sense of community. I'm very much by myself the whole time.
Is everyone is there multiple courts where still
there's a lot of
there at the time?
Well, so yesterday it was going on from 1 until 6 o'clock last night, I think. So you play for an hour. So there's a bunch of people going in and out, and I don't even know if the girls that I met yesterday are going to be there at the same time as me.
Yeah.
Next weekend.
A different time slot each week then?
I don't know. So that's what I'm.
That's how
Cam
slot football is. It's just throughout the day, and then they don't even tell you your time slot until the Friday, and then it's on the Sunday.
That's
so
how Joe's golf league was.
What this is.
But you might be like matched up with some of them if your like points and stuff are the same, like similar. Because that's what Joe, like with his golf league, like they go by like their handicaps. And so he was like not matched with like everybody the same every time, but like there was a few people that he was like in rotations with where he like would see them again.
And what you really need to do is just pull a Brittany, and like if you feel any sort of connection with any of them, be like, oh my god, like what's your Instagram and stuff, like, or what's your number, like let's follow each other or whatnot. And then that way you could even text them Saturday or something and be like, are you going tomorrow, like what time are you playing at? And then it like kind of starts, even if you're not playing with them, maybe you could be talking to them and go get lunch before or something like that.
Yeah, so we'll see as the weeks go on.
How many weeks is it?
I think it's 6 weeks.
That's cool. That's manageable.
Perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Is there a like social like hour like after or before it?
No, and that's what we were that's what we were complaining about, me and the 3 other girls last night. Like it's supposed to be for socializing, but you kind of, at least last night, we just went to our court, talked to each other, played, and then left, and there wasn't any kind of like socializing aspect beyond that.
That's good though. The other girls are complaining about that too, because then it's like you can make your own thing out of it.
Yeah.
It's also hard on Sundays. Like a lot of the time with football, we'd always say that like, oh my god, let's like go out right after, or let's do something first. And then like typically on Sundays people don't want to go out. I personally don't want to.
Yeah, there's a really nice pizza restaurant and bar right next door. So,
that's nice.
It's available. But
perfect.
Also, it's just like when you're playing pickleball, you kind of don't get to know each other that much. Like you're like just playing, which is good for me. But then also, so I'm not confident in that I'm going to make a lifelong friend in this experience, but I still think it's a good experience for me. And like, I think my main thing is giving myself positive proof that I'm not socially awkward, because a lot of the evidence that's stored in my brain is that I can't talk to people. So just, getting better at talking to people, really.
Was it like all ages?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the girls, 2 of them are maybe my age or probably a little bit younger. And then the other girl was like a little bit older than me. So
perfect.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That's so exciting.
It is catered towards like younger people trying to make friends.
That's good though, because like you could show up and it's like a bunch of 60-year-olds. No offense to 60-year-olds, love ya. But
yeah,
that's funny. I guess they probably also were good at like targeting the ad on TikTok too.
Oh yeah, it's a TikTok ad, true.
Yeah, because the ad that I saw, the guy was like, "I'm going through applicants for this year's pickleball league, and one of the guys looks like Zac Efron, and one of the girls looks like." And so I was like, "Oh, okay. So we have like cute, attractive young people in this league."
That's a hilarious way.
So I was like, I know it got me. So got my money.
You're like,
they're like Riley Keough.
I know.
You're like, down. I'll be their stat. Did it also help to only have Friday to Sunday? Like you didn't need to wait a whole week for it. Also, because that's like what makes me so nervous too, is the sitting around and thinking about it and like the anxiety of waiting for it to come.
Yeah, and then waiting to the last minute every time to like reply.
Yeah.
Like where I have to, otherwise I'm going to be screwed. No.
That's good. That's a crazy step.
I'd be a little concerned.
I mean,
I am the only person that lost every game though, so I also inquired at Lifetime about pickleball lessons because I'm just annoyed. Like, I'm not bad, but I make too many mistakes, and then those mistakes lead to losing.
Wait, every partner you had, you lost?
Yes, I lost every game, but not everybody lost every game.
Still a win.
Still
that
a win.
You meant.
Whatever.
That is a win.
We gotta focus on one win at a time.
Yeah.
yeah. Don't care about actually winning. What if you just became so like competitive and you're just like, I just need to win this pickleball league?
Well, since I'm such a people pleaser, my thing about like missing hits and stuff is how the other person feels.
The other girl.
I'm letting them down.
Yeah, like I literally feel anxious like the whole time you've been talking about it. Like I feel anxiety in my stomach thinking about me in this situation. Like I'm so
you would be great in this situation.
No, like it literally made me think like, okay, I have 6 years to sign up for a league like Devon's doing. Like I just am not ready.
Oh my god, you're better at talking to people than me.
I feel like I would get so competitive.
Yeah, you probably would.
Come on.
You'd probably kill it. You'd be yelling at the girls. Step it up!
Get that dive!
Come on, Caitlin!
God damn it, you missed it again. You keep doing that.
That's so funny. Yeah, I prefer sitting on the sidelines of adult leagues, I think.
You can probably socialize more that way.
No, literally. Talk the whole time.
I feel like you just need to find like a gym that has like fun classes to go to.
Yeah. Also, I think
so
maybe
then it's like on your own schedule.
Maybe that's not the move. Like, I mean, it is. But I think there are separate goals of that. Like maybe gym is a goal for exercise purposes, but like maybe I could also join like a sewing class or like the pottery class or something that can be social.
That's true.
And is less scary to me because of the working out. There's like other scary things about it of like not being good enough. Where like sewing or pottery or something doesn't have that. Yeah. I don't know.
I do find like with workout classes though, like most people are like a very common thing to just say to somebody else to start a conversation is like, oh my God, that was impossible. Or like that was so hard.
Yeah.
And most people are going to be like, yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So Victoria came to visit me last week. Was this last week?
Was it
2 weeks ago now, I guess. That's crazy.
Was it really 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's so weird. But it was so fun. We had like a perfect balance of time because she was here in Vancouver for a couple days, so we got to do like go to our favorite coffee shop that we love and like the things here that we did when she used to live here. And
she lived there?
She used to live there?
Like with you?
Yeah, she lived with me.
When?
I've forgotten this information.
2020.
Holy fuck. Can you back up and rewind?
Like when we got Sadie, or like maybe a month after we got Sadie.
Wait, so you moved there by yourself? Like just you and Cam?
Mm-hmm.
And then how long were you there and when did she come?
We moved June 2019 and then she probably came April of 2020. Kind of not that much longer after, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long did she stay for?
Such a blur. Probably like 6 months, 8 months.
And she lived with you the whole time?
Uh-huh. In our guest room. Don't tell the landlord.
I won't.
Yeah. Good times.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she like has her own friends here and everything. So like she went and saw her friends and hung out with them.
And you're not friends with them?
No. 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 She like worked with them. She worked at a preschool here, so they like worked at a preschool. They're nice girls and everything. I just don't know if we would like 100% vibe. But then we went to Seattle. We went to go see Trisha, and it was so fun. And we got a free hotel, and it was just like the whole weekend just felt like a follow your dreams moment. It was like every single thing and sign was like follow your dreams, don't stop following your dreams, like you can make this happen, anybody can make this happen.
That's so cool.
It was
You're gonna
so
be the next
crazy.
Trisha.
It was just so crazy. And like just being like I've obviously worked with hotels before and I've gotten several free hotels, and it kind of loses its like spark after a while where you're like, oh, just like that's kind of just
it's work.
Like you get a free hotel, like that's what you start to get used to. But this was like a really good reminder of like looking at little us when we were little, like making videos and stuff, and how cool it is that now we've come so far in which we get that. And like this hotel gave us like a wellness journal and like the bala bands and stuff. Like
oh my god,
that's
and it was
so
like
cute.
the prettiest view. It was like you could see the Space Needle. We were on the highest floor of the hotel. Like it was just so fun, like such a little fun girls trip. And then the actual show was just so great. And turns out Trish was pregnant. And we didn't know.
Did she announce it?
No, like 2 days later.
That's insane.
I can't
was
believe
text
that.
you about that because I was like, wait, Maggie, you didn't
text
us about her pregnancy.
Well, because everyone had been like guessing she was pregnant, but I'm like, okay, don't body shame our queen. Like, let's stop commenting on her body. Like, let's wait till she says something.
I just saw somebody like comment on, someone was like, oh, I have such exciting news. And someone like commented like, oh, we can see the bump. We know you're pregnant. And she was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah,
like,
no,
so
like
sick.
That's
like,
so
what?
Annoying. That's so crazy.
Say that after the fact. If you're like, oh yeah, I knew you were pregnant, that's fine.
Yeah,
but don't.
But also, even like, don't.
Like, or just like
also, I'd be like, oh, you noticed my stomach? Like, thanks.
Because at the time you announce, like, you really don't have any bump. Like,
well, it depends on the person.
Yeah, true. But
well, just assume that they don't.
Yeah. So, anyways, point being, I know some people like look at us as if we're like influencers and whatnot, but to us we're like such normal people and we like know each other as normal people. But it's just a good reminder to anybody listening, like, whatever your dreams are or whatever you want to do, you can make happen, and we're also normal and we've made so much of our dreams come true. Yeah. Should we get into the topic?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany came up with this idea. Okay, well, so basically when we lost the episode that we recorded in person together, it was basically us talking about anxiety and the news and everything that we're kind of dealing with right now in the world. And then Brittany loves Tinks and was listening to Tinks' podcast with Jay Shetty. The episode is called Jay Shetty's Secrets to a Stress-Free Life and Finding True Love. And that is Tinks' podcast if you want to listen to it. But they talk a lot about meditation and anxiety and consuming the news and everything. So we just wanted to talk about that more and hopefully let all of you know that you're less alone, because everyone's kind of going through that currently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also think he gave like very, sometimes where people are like, and I also think Jay Shetty, like if you know anything about Jay Shetty, he's kind of like this like high level like monk. Like he's like all, what is it called? Like, discovered himself, like what is it called, like you're
self-actualized.
He's like so self-actualized. You're like, okay, what am I going to take away from him? Like wake up early or meditate for 3 hours. And he gave like really, really practical things that I was like, wow, I can use each of these things in my life instead of being like, okay, that's sick, maybe one day I'll get there, to like the hour and a half of meditation.
Yeah, it was honestly a really good reminder for me of meditation, of that I do it all the time, and that I probably like 2019 when my anxiety was like the worst possible and I was having like panic attacks and I started therapy. My therapist really recommended the Headspace app, and like learning how to meditate, and I just had that idea in my head like, oh, I have to like go crisscross applesauce and sit in my room for an hour and like have no thoughts, and I don't know how to do that sort of thing. But then with Headspace, like they have a whole thing that's like teach you how to meditate, and it's like every day there's like, it's like a 2-minute thing or a 3-minute thing or a 5-minute thing depending on the day. But it just kind of taught me how simple it is and that you really can do it in any moment, and it doesn't need to be this whole like big giant thing. And that actually, like that breath work specifically, it has like helped my anxiety so much, and I didn't really realize that I've been doing meditation kind of this whole time.
Well, I also, on that note too, is like I thought I needed to set aside even that 5 minutes, because even to me, like sometimes if I'm just like rushing through my day, like I don't even give myself that 5 minutes. But he was talking about like on your way to like into an Uber, like while you're during that drive, you can take a couple breaths and like relax yourself, especially if like sometimes you're rushing out the door, like you're even just like heightened because your Uber's here like 2 minutes earlier than you thought it was. Like that's just going to like increase your heart rate and kind of bring maybe some anxiety. And so just being able to sit there in the Uber for like a minute and just breathe through it, I think is so practical. And and you can kind of do that throughout your day, and just giving yourself like 2 or 3 breaths, like if you're really stressed out about something. I was like, I can be so much better about doing that. Like that feels so manageable to me versus like, okay, no, I need to open up my breath work app and then like hit the, find a thing and hit play for a minute. Like I just really like that practical advice of just a few breaths will make a difference.
Yeah, so he said the 3 types of meditation are breath work, visualization, and mantras. But what I liked what he said about the breath work was that it's like the only thing that you'll have from the moment you're born till you die. And like that's so
Your
crazy
breath.
that it's the only thing that doesn't change in your life. Like you can be going through so many things and it's the only thing that you have consistently and can focus on and change. That's so cool.
I will say that I hate breath work. That's not my form of meditation. I like visualization because I hate focusing on my breathing. I don't know why, but it takes me out of it. I get annoyed. Like, so I need to, but you could visualize anything. You could visualize like what the back of a penny looks like, and that just clears your mind, which I gravitate towards.
But I think also with breath work, like even with breath work specifically, I had an idea of what that meant. Like I thought it was like, okay, we need to be counting the breaths. We need to be like doing this whole like, like
I know,
a whole like ritual thing.
And there like, is that type of breath work if that works for you.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that. It can simply be taking a deep breath and like, that's it.
Or like I like focusing on feeling the air come out of your nose or like things like that. I don't like having to like take the biggest breath and hold it. And then like I don't like the counting type of like breathe in for 5, like hold for 5, breathe out for 5. Like it just pisses me off.
I almost feel like I combine visualization with the breath work because I kind of visualize myself slowing down my heart rate and my breath and everything. Like it's kind of like a combo and kind of mantra because I'm like, it's okay. Like I'm just feeling anxiety right now. It's okay. It will pass.
Yeah.
Well, I even like I remember like one like thing. I like learned this in my field hockey, like from my field hockey coach, but she's like, you like focus on relaxing each part of your body. So like focus on relaxing just your toes, then like your ankles, then your calves, then your knees. And you just like go all the way up your body. And I feel like combining that with breathing, like can kind of give you something to do versus just focusing on like breathing in and out.
And at the end of the day, though, it's going to be different for everyone because my old therapist used to do that and I hated it. Like, I'd sit there and be like,
the body scan.
Wait, yeah. Like, I'd be like, I can't. I don't know what this means. Like, I'm trying to feel, but I can't do it.
One of my yoga teachers says, picture the muscles melting off the bones. And I like that visualization. Like, just like butter. Just
like, I like that.
I'm watching Yellow Jackets right now and it's very cannibalism and it made me think of that.
Yeah.
I saw your story and I was like, that seems like a not Brittany friendly show.
I don't think so.
Another thing that I took away from the episode too was just like kind of the notifications in general, like getting notified by anything. And I notice whenever I have Do Not Disturb on, I definitely feel a greater sense of peace because I'm not just like, I get a message and I'm like responding to it or like, because I don't even have to like see the message. It's just like, okay, I got something from a client. So then I'm like, okay, I need to respond to that. Or like,
it
I know
immediately,
something,
it spikes your like endorphins or something.
Yeah.
To see, even if it's in a good way or a bad way, like it could be like, oh, I got a message. I need to see what it is. Like, spikes your blood pressure or something.
I even wish I would have had that like as a teenager when I'd be like, oh my god, waiting for a boy to text me or something and like checking your phone every 2 minutes like for the boy to text you. I'd be like, oh my god, I should have just had
that was the
Do Not Disturb, like where I wasn't allowed to check it.
The first phone dopamine hits were when the boy you had a crush on texted you. Oh my god, it was the best feeling.
I saw this like super niche TikTok where like this girl was like, you just got out of Soul Cycle, and like because I was a big Soul Cycle girl in Chicago
in 2016.
Yes, you know exactly the thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the other things, but it's like you like check your phone to see if the boy that you like are interested texted you back. And I distinctly remember that feeling of like, okay, I'm gonna go like work out and get hot, and like I'm gonna, you know,
he will have replied,
and he will, you know, whatever. And then he didn't, and I'm like devastated. It's just like, why?
Would you do like the, okay, I'm not going to look at my phone for an hour or something, and like he'll text me by then or whatever. Like,
or I'd time it, of course. Of once they do reply, that I'd be like, okay, I'm not going to reply for 37 minutes because he took 22 minutes and I need to take longer.
But you know,
I just Brittany's. Go ahead.
Oh, I just listened to another podcast where it's like the girl is saying, don't like be so calculated with your replies, like actually be fucking busy. And I was like, I wish I would have like had that ingrained, because like there were times where I was like so busy during a work day I didn't have time to give a fuck if like somebody texted me. But there's other times where it was like the weekend and I was like just fake being busy, and I'm like still constantly looking at my phone, and I was like, why? Like that's so stupid.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think our For You pages are becoming more synced because I've been seeing you in the comments way more. I'm like, oh, Brittany got this video too.
That's funny.
But I did not know that Jay Shetty, before we go to like news and notifications and stuff to finish with meditation, I didn't know that he like was such a big part of an investor in Calm, the Calm app. I did not know that.
He's their chief purpose officer.
Yeah, also what a name. Chief Purpose Officer.
I know.
I want to be our podcast Chief Purpose Officer.
I love that.
CPO.
But I was going to say apps like Calm and Headspace and stuff for people to check their insurance. Because like Cam's insurance, which I now have, covers Headspace. And things like that. So it might be smart just to check your insurance to see if that's the case. Idea. They also do like free trials all the time. Yeah, it might not, but they do free trials all the time. And Harry Styles has a story on the Calm app that I fell asleep to for probably 8 months of my life.
Yeah. Also, if you want a free meditation app, Sam Harris has a meditation app. I forgot what it's called, but it's what I use to learn how to meditate. And if you email him and say that you want the app but you can't afford it, he'll give you a free year.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's really cool. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's also, amazing. There are a lot of like just on YouTube to look up, like especially with my driving anxiety, I'd look up driving meditation specifically on YouTube. There's a lot.
Or
of
TikTok.
Like yeah.
Or if you have Hatch, is there a subscription for Hatch?
Yeah,
I would assume.
But Hatch alarm clock has meditation.
But like you can do it you can get the alarm clock without paying for anything. There is just a subscription side of it that you could buy. If you want to.
Isn't that how you get all the sounds and stuff? And like
I don't know. I don't use any of them. I use just the ones that it came with.
Oh, you don't pay for the app?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, I like it a lot. It has some good sounds and
good
stuff.
Sounds.
Yeah.
Do you just have like a lifetime like free membership with your partnerships with them?
No.
Oh.
Should you check if you do?
I know. Should I be like checking on this?
I assume you have at least a year.
Do they give you a year or no? Just for the month that we did it.
I don't even think I got anything.
Okay, maybe you just didn't do it then.
Well, let me check in about that.
Interesting.
That'd be nice. It's like probably $6 and I don't even know what account it's linked to, you know, that kind of thing where it's like, oh, oops, I'm accidentally paying for this type thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel that.
Wait, can we talk about the 4 N's before you?
Yes.
Because you were talking about notifications.
Yeah.
So he talked about the 4 N's: notifications, negativity, news, and noise.
Love.
That all
I love that because I think in 2025 specifically, the thing that's been giving me the most stress and anxiety about literally every aspect of my life has been news. Yeah. The news and the constant cycle of it showing up on your phone, and then if you watch one video, that's all you get. And there's so much doom and gloom, there's so much fear mongering. It's like the plane crash. Like once like the news knows that it's going to be a popular video, so they keep showing us every fucking plane issue crash, that happens
when normally
it's
they
just
wouldn't.
Like constant.
Yeah.
And
it
gives me so much fucking anxiety.
I love this is like one of the main reasons that I was like, you guys, this episode I think is like a game changer, is find the news, don't let the news find you.
Yes, I love that.
My favorite part.
I think that's so like, I'm like, wow, that's such an easy thing because you can just unfollow a lot of those news sites, mute or block
don't
the people
watch it.
that mute or block the people that post a lot of news stuff. And then you choose when you're ready and able to watch the news. You find what sources you want to find. Like, because he was even saying, like, maybe you would rather watch like a CNN recap on your TV for your news, or you would rather like read, you know, an article or two. But you get to choose those articles versus whatever TikTok story pops up for the day. Like,
and those are probably a lot less biased too. Like, you're getting all this information that we don't even know if it's true, if it's being way over dramatic. Like,
yeah.
He said people now consume more tragic events within 24 hours than they did in a lifetime 25 years ago. Which
I was going to say that.
Is so crazy. Sorry, I have all of these fucking written out in front of me.
I know, same. I was just looking at it.
Like
24 more hours more tragedy in 24 hours than in our whole lifetime 25 years ago.
Yes, that's what I just said. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to read.
She's gonna edit hold on, she's gonna edit the episode to cut out me saying it. And then just have her
well, I just worded it differently, so I wanted to say it.
I worded it the exact quote. I quoted Jay Shetty.
But it didn't sound right to me.
Okay.
I think it sounded exactly the same.
Anyways, but even thinking of
it's a good stat, and I wanted to reiterate it, reemphasize, because
think of our parents even 25 years ago. You only would watch the news, and it'd be like 11 o'clock news. Like, it'd be like you go through your whole day, or like maybe before work, I guess, in the morning. But like you can choose, oh, I don't want to watch the morning news, or I'm going to wait till the 11 o'clock news to watch it. So I think things like TikTok, obviously, that seems like the least controllable. But I did just see this girl on TikTok. I love her so much. And she was saying, like, if you're complaining so much about all these like rich white influencers that you don't like, why are you making your For You page of them? Like, you do have control of that. Like, follow these Black creators that you say you want to be seeing if you do want to be seeing them. Like, say that you're uninterested in these things. And I think maybe I do struggle with that of news specifically, of like, I don't say I'm not interested in it or whatever. I like do keep watching it, and then you keep watching it, and then those same things keep popping up. So I think I would love it more if maybe I just took all news off of TikTok and made it a fun platform, and then got my news from other places. But it is hard when I feel like a lot of the news unbiasedly is on TikTok. Like, I feel like sometimes a lot of the actual real information I learn the most is from TikTok.
Yeah,
I never see those videos,
like,
though. I'm always seeing someone reiterating a news story with their own filter over it.
That's what I was like.
Everybody's so scared.
Like, straight up, like, of like when they have like political conventions and stuff. Like, I see the actual videos of like these people talking and stuff.
Oh,
but those are still like edited to be like.
I was gonna say they're all clipped to be like.
Yeah,
that's true.
All that stuff, but I think like even with the whole like find the news, don't let news find you. I feel like that's a good message for just consumption in general. Like, be more intentional with like what you're actually consuming, and understand like the level of impact it actually has on you. Because I think even with, you know, even if you're watching a lot of, I don't know, just opinionated things about the park thing that we were talking about, like the sweatshirts, like you could just be like inundated with like people just being like, oh my God, these are such horrible people. And then it starts to like affect how you see small business owners or like female business owners, because all you're seeing is like the negative things about them. But I just think that there's like so many other ways that you could choose to like consume media.
Do you guys have any like sites or stations that you like to get your news from?
Fox. Just kidding.
Yeah, I have Fox News on all day long.
It's playing constantly in my living room. No, I think another issue is like a lot of these newspapers and stuff are paywalled now. And so like a lot of the times when I'm going to click on an actual news article, I can't read it. I'm like, okay, if this is actual information, it should be available to everybody.
My dad really likes Apple News because I think you can get most things for like with your Apple subscription. Like I don't think you need to like subscribe individually to like the Wall Street and New York Times and all that stuff.
Yeah, like I just discovered, I don't know if you guys know this on your Mac, but like you can adjust your widgets on your Mac the same way that you do on your phone. I did not know this. So like I just added like the calendar, I added Apple News, I added my like mantras, the weather, my Pinterest board, and everything like that I have on my phone on my Mac. But I've been liking that for news. Like if you might need to update like your software of the Mac if it's not like updated, but you just like right click it the same way you would normally and then edit
stock market is down.
Okay.
The stock market's been down since a little somebody.
Falls 4% after Trump doesn't rule out recession.
But then it's like nice because it only has one news article there. Like it's not like a bunch of news. It's just like I can see the main one news article on my screen, and that helps. But another quote he said. Do you want to read it, Dev?
I don't know if I have it.
And he said, if news is the background of your life, tragedy is the forefront. That is so good.
Yeah.
Love that.
Devin, do you want to read it too?
I have my notes app that I'm looking at. I don't have the doc open.
Okay, well, I worked hard on that. Thank you.
I didn't even get the document.
I didn't have time to put my own.
Of course not. Of course.
I'm clicking on it now. I was going to ask if there was a doc. I know. It's fine.
Okay. Fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, like, obviously, they talk a lot about how back in the day, like, caveman days, we're not learning all this information. You know about your own individual community and nobody else, and that's it. So you have to deal with a lot less tragedy in general. And I don't think it can fully be that. Like I saw a post that was like, I'm ignoring all news and all world events. Like I'm living in my own little community and house and not paying attention to other community. And like I think we are at a point though where you can't like fully do that. Like unless you have like a homestead where you're growing all your shit and everything. Like we do need to pay attention to politics, and things come from different places, and so you have to pay attention to different countries and all of that. But I think you can still kind of have a high level view of everything without being like so within it every single day at all times, which I've gotten a lot better at. Like 2021 me was like not okay, just in the news 23 hours a day probably.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think also back to the notifications thing, something that maybe would be helpful to some people if they're like, oh, why should I like not be on my phone the first thing in the day, was there's like, if you open up your phone or you're like checking notifications or you're like on your email or any of that stuff, it's like letting hundreds of people into your bedroom first thing in the morning, like before you even brush your teeth or like, you know, have a chance to drink coffee. And I think that's a really good analogy for just like, oh, like I'm letting all of these things inundate my mind before I have a chance to like even give myself like an opportunity to breathe. And I feel like it also is kind of like, don't start your day so reactive, like kind of choose how you're going to start your day versus letting other people dictate that.
Totally. And you're not checking in with yourself or thinking about, you know, the present moment. You're right away thinking about everyone, what people are thinking of you, what people are saying about you, what people need from you.
And that can even be with like your friends and family. Like a lot of the times if I haven't texted them back, or like even today it's 1 p.m. and I'm like, oh, like I should have texted them right when I woke up, because then like I'm not going to be able to reply till 4 p.m. and then they'll be like, why didn't you talk to me all day or whatever. Like I do think about that stuff, but it's like in actuality you don't need to reply to everybody as soon as they reach out to you.
Yeah.
They did talk about that a little bit though, Maggie, like because obviously your family's far away from you. Tinks's family like is like, she kind of has family like in London, in Europe, and in the States, and like 2 different time zones. So, and so does Jay, because Jay's from England as well. But they kind of talked about just different ways and practical ways to kind of go through that. I don't remember their exact things, but it's kind of like just choosing to be really intentional with like, okay, you're going to talk to your mom at this time in the morning, so that you're not necessarily doing it first thing in the morning, but you're at least like, okay, I'm going to do my little check-in 9 a.m. with mom, and then kind of go throughout your day.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I do. I put it literally on my to-do list, not like text my mom back, but like reply to these people or whatever, and then I go to like my unread messages and just like do a quick reply to people sort of thing, and that helps because it's kind of all at once then, and it doesn't feel like it's happening the whole entire day, for sure.
I also, one other thing just on the reactivity portion is I find myself like, instead of allowing myself a minute, like maybe I could do this with like my breath work, I receive information sometimes and immediately react versus taking a minute, understanding it, and then seeking like more information. For example, if someone's like, hey, did you send this invoice? And Joe has already sent it. It just, they didn't confirm the receipt. So it's like on the brand. But if my first reaction is, oh my God, Joe did do this, then I'm like in this panic mode versus if I take a breath and I'm like, Joe probably sent the invoice. Let's just ask Joe really quickly and then let the brand know. But brands will do that to me, like where they're like, hey, we didn't get this. And I'm like, wait a second. Like, because maybe Ashley sent it or something and I just don't even know. So my first reaction is like, holy shit, we didn't do something. But then it's like, no, it's done. You're just like not reading it. Or maybe
and that can happen to me like individually too, like when brands do that and I'm like, wait, did I do that? And then you have to like go back and check. So that's even harder when you have like multiple people that you're managing to try to figure out if other people did it.
But I think it's like, and that's just like a specific example to my life, but it's just like whatever that I think can happen a lot where you're like, oh, I'm in a panic because I'm just like not even taking the minute to like understand what the full situation is.
And like getting on your phone immediately when you wake up can like put you in that panic if you're reading any of those things right off the bat. I think kind of it feels like all or nothing. Like I used to think like, oh, I can't be on my phone in the morning. Like I need to put it in a different room and like not go on it whatsoever, which might be helpful, honestly. Like that could be the better thing. But I think I also have found a balance. My phone's on the table next to me and I don't like go on it for probably 5 minutes, like while the dogs are snuggling me and like I've turned off my alarm and stuff and like I'm just like hanging in bed. But then I do grab it and I either like play a music that I really want to listen to that makes me happy, or like if a podcast came out that morning that I'm like really excited about that would make me happy, I play that. And then like I'll look at my emails, but not like, oh, I need to go through all my emails. I just like quickly open my email app and like see if there's what's happening that day kind of. And then like go on Instagram as a more of like, oh, how many views did my video get overnight? Not like checking in on every single person sort of thing. And then I get up and move on. But I think TikTok is kind of, or like when you're watching videos, it could be reels too, I guess. But like if you're getting into a hole of videos as soon as you wake up, that's the worst always.
I used to like when videos would go viral, I would have to wake up and check the first thing in the morning, the comments. That's what I do. And I would always see like a negative comment. And then that would instantly put me in a terrible mood. My heart rate would spike because I'd get mad. And like that was literally how I was starting my day, like with a hate comment.
That's just so negative.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, on the notion of alarms, he talked about how like alarms are always like associated with like really negative things, like a fire alarm or like
emergencies,
like emergencies. And it's like, if you can, like, I know some people can't wake up without like a awful sound, but me and Devin and Maggie, you have like a sunlight alarm, right?
Yeah, but I haven't used that in a long time. I just wake up. I don't use an alarm.
Same.
I swear by the hatch though, for like
I do too.
Very what is it, customized like way to go to bed and to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, if you want to use Devon's code, use the hatch, but they do have a cheap Amazon version if you only want to spend $20. But use Devon's code, please.
You have both of them,
I have
Devin,
the
right?
Amazon one, and I didn't use it. I don't like Hatch is so much better. But also if you just want to try it out, it's a great option to do the cheap one. But
obviously doesn't have as many features or like work as well, but like as a cheap option.
Yeah, the Hatch always wakes me up with light before the sound even starts playing. Like the light that comes on in my room will wake me up first. And that is how you're supposed to wake up. The sunlight waking you up naturally and slowly and naturally. Whereas when there's an alarm going off, your cortisol spiking, your heart rate spiking. It's like, it's literally called an alarm because it's alarming you. And that is not a good way to start your day.
Last week before daylight savings switched, it was like a dream because right before 7 a.m. it would actually be light out, and it was like so nice. And now it's right before 8 a.m. again. But I'm like, that's how that is the best way to wake up, just actual light.
Yeah.
I literally woke up this morning thinking that the sun rose because I don't know, daylight savings always messes me up, and I was like, oh, it's supposed to get earlier, or the sun's supposed to get up earlier, and it was just my hatch, but I thought it was real.
That's so funny.
So realistic.
I
thought it was real.
Also, like, I can't, like, if Cameron was using a hatch, I would not be down with that because, like, he wakes up so much before me, and now
it does get very bright.
Joe is just because it's on his side too, because I'm like, I can't have it in my face.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Joe. What's up with you?
I can't have it in my face. Goodbye. That's so funny. Why don't you put it like across the bed?
Because if I want to do like one little snooze, he's got to just tap it.
Oh, just taps it. Okay, so it's still, you still can snooze it.
Yeah, but it doesn't turn off the light. It just snoozes the sound.
Okay.
Which is kind of annoying sometimes, but
because you're like, turn the light down too, please.
Yeah. You gotta have light on.
I also really like it, or when I used to use it for nighttime during the winters of like the sun setting later than it actually does. That was nice too.
The hatch is nice too because you could set up like a whole evening routine. So especially if you like want a certain color at night, you can change the color and white noise and all the things.
Yeah.
Meditation, sleep stories.
Those you have to pay
brown
for, right?
noise, green noise, whatever.
I like pink noise.
Yeah. Green. I like green noise. It's like naturey sounds.
Really? I have to try that.
I have this one specific YouTube video that says for babies sleeping specifically, and it's 10 hours long, and I play that every single night. That's very nice. But yeah, I think that we're just all kind of gonna be struggling with this anxiety as there's just news stories every single day to read. But I think not feeling bad about yourself if you, like, I don't know, I would like in 2021 I would feel so guilty if I didn't know things, or if I wasn't like actively participating in fighting what I believe in 24/7.
Yeah.
And it's hard to, you need a balance of that because you need to take care of yourself in order to be able to take care of other people and do those other things that you believe in.
Yeah. Because as white women, we are so privileged to like not have to worry as much
to be able
about what's going on in the world. Like, oh, it's not really going to affect us. But like, that's a really arrogant way to think of it. But if it's starting to affect your mental health, then it's okay to take a break from it.
Mm-hmm. And I think also socializing and having friends in all those different communities allows you to then like consume those news in different ways. Like I know, then when I talk to my gay friends, like I'm experiencing hearing their sides of things. If I talk to a trans friend, I'm experiencing their side of things. Like I don't know, it helps me to be able to be like, oh, I'm going to talk to my Black friend about this. And then I still feel like involved without still constantly consuming everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So just like having diverse friendships also helps, I think.
Yeah, it helps everyone. For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you listen to that other podcast episode if you would like to listen to it. We could link it in the description. Maybe?
Yes, I can.
That way people can.
I was just thinking, like, you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to.
Oh yeah, you don't have to.
We did it.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, we basically told you everything. But if you would care to listen, you can listen to it. I mean, you can.
I do want to listen to more Jay Shetty episodes.
I think he has good interviews and good episodes. Like on his, he has his own podcast too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, he's good on it with other people too. Like I like looking up other celebrities and then like watching him on their podcast or vice versa.
I always get like, I'm always like touch and go with that because sometimes they're on like a promo tour if they're doing a lot of interviews.
Yeah, and then
I'm like, okay, I don't really need to hear you say the exact same thing like 40 times.
Yeah.
Also, I did listen to his audiobook, the Think Like a Monk. I mean, it's not an audiobook, but I listened to the audio version of Think Like a Monk, and it was really good. I think he has multiple books though now.
Yeah, he just came out with one. I actually didn't get to the very, very end, but I could see him promoting his like love book.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called, but I watched him on another podcast talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, make sure you also subscribe to our Patreon if you want bonus episodes every single week and then an extra bonus episode once a month. It's patreon.com/sogladwerefriends. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to watch the podcast. Leave us a rate and review wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.